Pablo in the building today. You can find me on Instagram, fire_beard, FYAH_beard, firebeard. You can find me on the PSN for all the gamers, fully active 954. What's going on, Mr. Richie Rich?
What's up? What's up? You good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to get you inside here for a minute.
Mm.
No Diddy.
Long time coming. No
Trying to
diddy.
get my little brother for pull up and just say, "Oh, Ray, well, go on."
Long time for forward, for real.
Yeah. So, I started this platform about Broward County. I love Broward County.
I love it.
Broward County get a bad rap, though. It got a lot of bad neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But I feel like the people, they go to these certain neighborhoods and certain things happen to them when they don't stay out of the way pretty much because Broward is beautiful.
It is.
I mean, we have the beach, we got the Everglades,
right?
We got everything in between. Good food.
I feel like even some of the locals don't know how beautiful it can be.
Most of the locals don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think without tourism, Fort Lauderdale might fall flat. You see, that brought back spring break here. They stole it back from Miami.
Yeah.
Spring break is Fort Lauderdale now, man. They ain't fucking with Miami no more. Not at all.
I don't even want to mess with Miami on any holidays, bro.
Especially spring break. Memorial Day, it's a wrap.
Yes.
But Fort Lauderdale took everything back right now. They're managing it well. And let's see how long they could keep it up. Fort Lauderdale got the name Fort Lickerdale. You ever heard that?
Yeah, Fort Lickerdale back in the days. You got to be from the crib to know that.
Facts. For you, what was it like growing up in Broward, though?
I mean, I've been in Broward all my life. I grew up in Sunrise, Lauderhill, all the way until probably about 10th grade. And I could say what was outside wasn't what was inside my house. And
wait. Explain. What do you mean?
So when I say that, meaning I'm outside and I carry on a certain way. Or I used to be outside and I never had any personal beef, but I always supported my people that was around me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But now as you get older, all that stuff kind of fade because that's not how I was raised.
Right.
But when I step outside, that was what was around me.
Speaking of that, you ever got into any big trouble because of that? The way?
I did. High school, my 9th grade year. No, it was my 10th grade year. My 10th grade year, I got in a personal beef at Piper, and I wasn't really known for one-on-one personal beef, but just being in the mix with everything. So when I finally got caught up, my mother got scared, and they were talking about kicking out of school. She's like, no, I don't need that on his rap sheet. And she just pulled me out the last month of my 10th grade year and started a whole new school.
Damn.
The last month. So I couldn't even finish the last month of it.
So do you think that was like your trouble or you got like influence from Alpha?
No, that was all me. That was all me. And it's crazy, but it was a lesson. It was over a girl. Yeah, it was over a girl.
It's always a girl.
No, let me not say it was over a girl. It started from a girl, and then it became a personal one-on-one thing. Outside of that, it's like, okay.
Bridget, go ahead and break that down a little bit. All right,
so I was messing with this one girl, and little brown skinned girl, bro. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
And of course, dudes are gonna try to holler at her.
Right.
So
the girls attract attention.
Right. There was this one particular dude that was trying to talk to her, and he was going in heavy. But him and I had mutual friends. So I was like, all right, maybe we could just, talk this out. So I told my mutual friends, I'm like, yo, let him know that, it's in the circle.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I got you. And then next day, I see him still doing it. So I asked my homeboy, I'm like, bro, so you ain't saying that to him? He said, yeah, but he don't give a fuck. But that's why I said it wasn't about the girl no more.
Right.
It was about just that.
Absolutely.
You don't even care. Like, okay,
yeah,
so it's not about here. It's just you don't give. You just gonna disrespect me all the time. So long story short, it was a lot of back and forth between the messengers and between him and I, and then at the end of the day, we just end up fighting. When the fight got broken up, him and a mutual homeboy ran off campus, and then I got pulled. I got caught up in the office, hashed it out, figured out what was what. I left campus and I heard where he was. He actually went to my oldest brother's job. He was like, yo, he this nigga right here right now. What you want to do? I was like, bro, wait for me because he's working. My oldest brother's working, so I'm not trying to make him lose his job. I'll come handle it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because after I went to Piper at the time, after that, all the fights were either at Westwind Park or at the McDonald's or at the little pizza place.
Anybody who went to
Right.
Piper know those hot
They know
spots.
the
Yeah,
hot
yeah.
spots, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna be at that McDonald's, and on my way there, it's a nice little walk. Mutual friends, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's gonna be an ongoing thing, bro. You got brothers. He got brothers. It's just gonna be an ongoing thing, you know.
Sometimes you gotta nip some situations in the bud though. Like it's
Right.
never gonna end unless you just go ahead and get to the climax of the situation. So you
Exactly.
might as well just go ahead and just whether you get your ass whooped or what,
Or
whether you
not.
beat that ass, just finish it out and just let it be done.
Exactly.
What
So go ahead.
well when that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes little incidences start pulling you certain ways in life. Like when did you decide whether you was gonna keep up with the fuckery or just chill out and be like a decent guy?
I want to say my turnaround point in life was 25 years old. So that's gone through high school, gone through college. When I went to college, I was living in Alabama, coming back to Florida, and that was my turnaround point.
What
Where
school you went to in
I
college?
call it Stillman College,
Okay.
HBCU in
Okay.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Okay.
You
It was
know,
like well,
hmm?
it was HBCU, but was it racism in Alabama?
The city I was in,
Mm-hmm.
it was a college town, so you didn't feel it. But in Alabama, if you went outside of Tuscaloosa, you would. I was an athlete at the time
Okay.
as well, and this is when Nick Saban was winning champions after
Yeah.
championships after championships. So if
Athletes were good.
right,
Yeah.
athletes were good.
Yeah.
If they didn't ask me what school I played for, they assumed I played for UA, so I just let it be.
Yeah, right.
But if they
Alabama.
ask me, then I'll tell them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, but when you went to other little cities, you would feel it, you would see it, and the way Alabama is so set up, it's so small, and everything's so spread out. You will get people from different, like Mobile, Birmingham,
Mm-hmm.
come into Tuscaloosa just to go to the mall, just to go to Best Buy, because there's really none in their city.
Right.
So you would get those racist people that come in, and I also did work there. I worked at Best Buy Mobile. So
So
I worked,
you had interactions with some of them.
right. I work with the phone, so I interacted with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, everybody don't play about their phones, and this is back when everybody was getting the iPhone every time it came out. You know,
So, what's your nationality, bro?
I was raised in Florida. My parents is from Jamaica. My two older brothers are from Jamaica. So technically, within my immediate family, I'm the firstborn in the U.S.
But what? All right. So, you grew up West Indian, and you grew up
Correct.
with um, West Indian culture influence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you grew up a little bit differently than some of your friends that were from born and raised in Broward?
Some of them, yeah, some of them. But what I have realized at different point of their lives, they did interact or they did encounter the kind of similar upbringing that I've had. I'm gonna say my family's Christian,
Mm-hmm.
so I grew up Christian all my life, and that's why I say the way I was raised inside my house and the way things were outside was two different things. So even that one fight I was telling you about, where my friend was like, "It's gonna be an ongoing thing." I'm reasonable. I can be spoke to. I have understanding. I was grew up that way. I'm just not this hot headed ass nigga that's going to keep going da 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You have kids?
I have a daughter. Yes, I have one daughter.
Now how old is
Yeah, she's 7 for now.
daughter? I think daughters have like a special place. My daughter, she, I don't know if she knew it.
Mm-hmm.
She had me wrapped around her finger for
Of
a
course.
long time.
Of course.
And a couple of my buddies and family members, they were like, bro, like you gotta let her breathe, man. You
Mhm.
gotta let her go out
Mm-hmm.
and experience stuff and fall and fail a little bit, or she's never gonna have anything to fall back on or have adversity so she could grow in life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you do too much for your daughter?
No, I don't think I have the opportunity to do nearly as much as I want to do. Being a single father or a separated home, two different homes, and not really dealing with my daughter's mother on a certain level, at least a minimum level. You
Can
know,
you share a bit of your journey on how you came to become a single father? Did you go in there and did you like have when you met this girl
Mhm.
and you was with her? Did you have the intentions of being with her when you had the kid, or was I don't want to say your daughter was a mistake, but I want to know if were you planning on being with this woman and having a family and staying with her when you had a child with her?
So technically, I'm gonna put it like this. In my mindset, every man who's dealing with a woman, before they start dating or they start a relationship, they get everything they want from that woman. So if you're going to start a relationship, why cheat or why do any of that? Because you're already getting everything you want. So if you're gonna be with her, be with her. Now you asked me a question about when I met my child's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably known her for 25 years or more.
Okay, so you wasn't in a relationship with her at
Right.
first. You were
So
friends. Like,
correct.
just associates or
We grew up with each other,
yeah.
and technically, we used to call each other brother and sister. And I know everybody hates that. You know, oh no, they doing stuff, they doing stuff, but we really weren't. She was all my brother's little sister as well. You know,
So she was a part of the family pretty much.
part of the
Like yeah.
family. She knew my exes. I used to mess with some of her friends. You
Mm-hmm.
know, back in the day. So it was a sticky situation going into the relationship.
So you still have a somewhat of a decent relationship with her, or is it more like just talk to me about our daughter and that's it?
It's more just confirming when we're interacting and when we're exchanging with our
That's
daughter.
sad because in initially you guys were friends and she was a part of it. So
Correct.
not only does you lose that relationship with you,
Mm-hmm.
she pretty much loses the relationship with
With her.
everybody that's involved with you, and it's not the same as it used to be.
It wasn't like that coming from my village,
Mm-hmm. More
but
so on her side.
eventually,
But listen, we're not gonna sit in here and just say that you know it's all on her.
no,
You know what I mean?
no.
We got to we own our part in this shit.
So
In you know what I mean?
right. So I'm gonna put it like this. I've told everyone this. I take 80% of it, and I give her 20% of it
Okay,
because
80 is a lot though.
80 is a lot. Because I'm the one who crossed the line. I'm the one who initiated it. I'm the one who was like, okay, maybe this can work. We should try this out.
Mm-hmm.
She never said no at all. That's her 20%. You know my baggage. You know who I was. You knew all that other things. Even though who I was wasn't what I was producing.
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna tell you the flaws in this. I'm gonna tell you the flaws in this. She wouldn't allow me to grow. She only see me for the person I was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what kind of hindered it as well. Now, once I started the relationship, because I was there for her last relationship before, right? And I forgot everything I seen. I forgot everything I dealt with. I seen her do it in her last relationship.
Right.
But in my head,
It's
he
gonna be
deserved
different.
it. No, he deserved it, right? So it's gonna be different.
Different with me.
Right. He deserved it. The way she was carrying on, he just wasn't that dude for her. So, okay, that's what it was. I didn't think that's how she handles her relationship. Or at least that's what I experienced. That's what I seen before me, and then that's what I experienced with myself.
She gonna get a lot of passes because she gave you one of the most beautiful things
she
ever
gets
in life.
and-
She get a lot of passes. I don't know if these women know this, man, but because they did give us
Mm-hmm.
children, most men, I think most solid men, they give these women a lot of passes where they wouldn't give like certain women who didn't give them children the same passes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did you ever consider staying with your baby mother just so that your child could have the mother and father in the same
Yes.
household?
I attempted that, yes.
And what was that like?
It was, well, to finish up the first relationship before the baby was born, we only lasted 3 months.
Okay.
I knew that after the first week, I knew that I didn't want it, but she wanted to do it, and I started something, so I'm gonna give it my all. The sad part to it was we didn't. The sad part was I couldn't separate myself until I hated her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, we couldn't separate as friends. We had to separate through anger.
You think you forced yourself to dislike her a lot?
No,
I mean,
no, I don't
it
dislike
just,
her. I don't dislike
you don't
her.
dislike her till today, right?
Till this
now.
day, but I could come here and talk and just be me, be the person y'all looking at right now.
Right.
I'm gonna bring the same energy to her. I'm not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do when we were in a relationship. We never argued about cheating, about doing anything. Only thing we spoke about was finances and our kid.
Speaking of your daughter, man, one of the most beautiful things God gave you. How did it change you becoming?
Oh man,
becoming a father.
It slowed me down.
Mm-hmm.
It slowed me down. I had my daughter at 26. I told you my life changed at 25. So I was already shifting 1 year prior to her being born.
Okay.
And but when she came, it was just
Straight transition.
straight transition. And I was with her mother at the time. I didn't get with her mother until she was 7 months pregnant. So even that
When you didn't get you didn't.
in the relationship, I didn't get back.
Okay.
This was our second relationship.
Okay.
We had the first one for 3 months, broke up, and I blame my mom. It's a little joke. I blame my mom because this happened on her 50th surprise birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Me, my ex, or my child's mother, got back to it one more time,
Right.
and then that's when it happened.
Mm.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
baby came.
Right. That's when the baby was made. So I know exactly when it was made.
Mm.
so
Oh man.
so then yeah. So we got back together. Watched her 7 months, and it just changed. I mean, my child's mother knows I'm a family man. She knew I love kids. She knew a lot about me.
Mm-hmm.
She knew I didn't want to be like my father, you know.
Right.
But I didn't have a better relationship with my father until I became a father.
Yeah. Your dad.
Hmm.
Did you have a relationship with your dad?
Um,
Like a decent relationship, what you would call like
it was better than kids who claimed they didn't have a dad or a dad that come around every now and then. Like I knew who he was. I knew he was. Summers I would go with him, but he just wasn't there. You know what I mean?
right.
So as a kid, sometimes I felt like the stereotype when I really wasn't. But that's just what we were seeing all the time in TV and movies and what we hear and in
Mm-hmm.
music. Just daddy's not there and da da da. I grew up with my stepfather, so I always had a father figure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my dad just wasn't. He wasn't like not present.
Just wasn't fully active.
Right.
Yeah.
He lived in Orlando. We lived in Broward. They just weren't together. So he's making the most money he can make.
Mm-hmm.
He every birthday, every Christmas, he gave me the best gift
Okay.
every time.
Yeah.
For my if he came down for my
Nothing. I
birthday.
don't think anything will ever replace being there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
No, not a monetary gift, not a phone call, not a hug, not anything. Apart from you like being there, seeing you every day, being able to give you the game,
Right.
being able to talk to you and just reason with you, just sit on
Mhm.
like, yo, no, this don't go like that. Yo, make sure you this right.
Right.
When it's right, immediately address it right there. And I
Mhm.
think this is some of the reasons why some guys end up staying with some women that, really they shouldn't.
Right.
So I'm with you. We're gonna rock it out. We're gonna
Mhm.
figure it out. But I'm also a fan of guys that do make the decision and say, "Listen,
It's not
this is
good.
not working.
Mhm.
We got to dissolve this because what happens is the kid is growing up and seeing conflict and
Mhm.
back and forth and up and down, and this will they don't know how to process some of these things in their mind. It might not show right away,
Mhm.
but later on in life, these things start coming out, and you be like, this is a byproduct of what we were showing this child
Right.
their whole life. So co-parenting, I agree with 100%. I agree with co-parenting, but I also agree with the man that says, "Yo, I don't want another man raising my child."
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't want another man around my child. I don't want anybody else influence around my child but me.
Mhm.
So it's a balance. It's a weird balance. It's a hard balance, but guys got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, Speaking of the music and everything like that, we got all these influences from everywhere. These kids didn't grow up like us. Well, like me, you a little bit differently
Mhm.
because you're a younger man for me, but um, the influence from the internet, from TV, from commercials, from
Mhm.
from from singers, from artists, from rappers, from Cardi B's, damn everything. Like,
Right.
how do you um tell your daughter, say, hey, this is. Do you have these conversations with her yet? Is she old enough yet, or?
I don't have these conversations with her yet. Our conversations, my daughter, I tried to break my daughter's conversations down because I like to say she's everybody's auntie. She's too grown for her
She's
age,
grown.
but not in a negative way, but it can be. It can be. So I really try to like bring it down a notch or kind of get her out of people's business, because even sometimes when we're going outside for a walk and she's on her scooter, I've seen her like go up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And one time it was just two set of people just standing right there. She stopped right by them and was just listening to grown folks. I'm like, yo,
Yo, come on, a big
yeah,
deeper
you're right.
conversation. What y'all do?
We don't even know them. You know? I'm like, come on, she's looking up at me like,
What's the
"Mean?"
problem?
Right. I'm like, no, you don't need to be worried about them. You know?
Listen, man, I love kids. Kids are
Yes.
innocent. Anybody does anything to a child,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
deserve
The worst.
everything that's coming to them.
Everything.
That's coming to them. Because kids are innocent. I'll
Mm.
give you a story. Like, I showed my son over there on Pine Island in Cleary. I had an apartment before he was born. And I was like, yo, this where we was. And, you know, me and your mom used to ride my motorcycle up and down these streets. So I was, come in, let me show you the exact apartment I lived in. So we got out. We was walking around. And there was two little kids outside. And the little kids was like, yo, he looks like you. And I was like, yeah, it's my son.
Right.
So the kid was like, well, why is his skin like that?
Mm.
And I was like, what you mean?
Right.
Like, why his skin look like that? Like he's like light and you're dark.
Mm.
I said, because I said it's genetics. I said, you don't know. I said it's light, you gotta learn. I said his mom is light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he got more of his skin from his mom. I'm also a fair skinned
Right.
guy too, but they just couldn't process in their
Right.
mind like what's going on. Like, why is that your like my daddy? I look like my daddy. And
Oh, the skin tone and everything. Yeah.
So, but they were so honest and so innocent. It was like a
Yes.
breath. It was like a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
You know
the
what I
honesty
mean?
is everything. With
Even
kids.
like you see them interview them little Instagram posts sometimes when they were like, "Oh, your breast stinks,"
Yeah.
or "Oh, you're fat."
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
you know, it's so much innocence to a kid. So for somebody to do anything to a child or the elderly or anybody who can't really defend themselves like that, fire button for them.
For real.
Like
Every time.
Yeah. What is a lesson that you learned raising your kid and dealing with your child's mother that you would like to tell like another person that has to do it?
What I would tell the next man is to don't base what you're doing on your significant other's opinions. Because you could do all of this and out of anger, they're going to be like, you ain't do shit.
Wow.
You know? And you're looking at them and in their head, at that moment, they mean it. But in reality, they know that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When they look in your eye, they really can't stand on that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So don't really allow that to bring you down or question you or question yourself because of that. Know what you're doing. If you're
Know your worth.
Right. If you ain't shit, know that you ain't shit.
Right.
But if you're doing everything, don't let nobody break that down.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody take that from you.
Because you know your worth and you know what you are.
Right. At the beginning, I used to try to defend myself. I used to try to defend that, and that just made everything even worse.
You think men are the prize or women are the prize?
I think men are the prize. I learned that men are the prize because they're the one that's going to hold everything together. They're the one they're always that key link to their relationship, to that family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not saying that they could just go and, do another thing or I'm going to have to edit this part out. But
no, you good.
Yeah, but I honestly think that men is the prize. And especially if you find a good man, it's really hard to, I'm not going to lie. I know the majority rules. Guys could be shady, but women could be just as shady.
Well, I think it's fluid. I think my overall resting state is men are the prize.
Yeah.
Men are the prize.
Every time.
Men should hold it down. Men should be the staple of the family. It should always go back to the grassroots where the dad is the patriarch.
Right, the head of the household.
Everything runs from here down. And if he's not solid, the family not solid.
Exactly.
But it's a lot of men that's being raised in this country, especially not to be men anymore. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of femininity in men. It's a lot of, it's just, for lack of a better term, weirdo things going on with men. Mm-hmm. And they're not men anymore. They're more like less masculine, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of women like to say is men are toxic, toxic masculinity. But without the masculinity, we're not men. Mm-hmm. You understand? So
I feel like people mistaking the head of the household as the breadwinner.
Right.
Because even if the woman is the breadwinner,
That's an excellent point.
I feel like the man is still
The head of the
the head of
household.
the household. He's
Absolutely.
bringing everything together. Money is not what runs the
Well,
household.
people equivalent money with,
With power,
yeah,
with the I guess we could keep saying the head of the household.
yeah,
Just because the woman makes more money doesn't mean that the man is not really keeping everything together.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's where it messes up. And I feel like maybe those men that act are kind of weird are the ones who feel like they're not the breadwinners. You know?
Well, it's something to be said about the way you move and the way you carry yourself as a man. And if you carry yourself weak, and the woman has to feel like she's the one that is the matriarch and holding it down, and you're there and just as a, like, not even a figurehead, just to take up space. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the power dynamic in the family is going to change.
Right.
And what happens is the young men growing up in the house see
Mm-hmm.
that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna see that, and they're gonna feel like, oh, well, my mom is the one who made all those. My mom is the one who made all the decisions. Daddy just,
Right.
I don't know, made sandwiches. I don't know what this guy was doing.
Right.
But if you don't stand up and be the man of your household and command the way the household and dictate the way the household is gonna run, I mean, I,
You know.
she chose you for a reason.
Right.
She chose you for a reason. There's a reason that this woman wanted to be with you.
It was security.
Yeah. Well, if she's not feeling secure now, and she's the one that has to make the household feel secure, then there's a power dynamic and a power shift.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I think men are the prize, but a lot of these men are not men anymore. You got these influencers like
Yes.
Lil Uzi Vert and
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X and all of these
So,
guys.
I mean, to piggyback off of what you were saying, let's say there's not a man in the household and a woman has a son. For single mothers, right,
Mm-hmm.
who are raising boys, these boys grow up thinking they're the man of the house. That's
Right.
what it is. You don't have that mindset when there's a father in the house. You don't get that I'm the head of the household or I'm the man of the house. And if it's a single father, you don't get that I'm the man of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just naturally, that's how young men are raised. Now, what we're dealing with is all these girls out here are city girls. Everybody want to be a city girl. They
Hot
want to
girl.
drain hot girl, drain all the man's money. If you ain't got no money, ain't dealing with you, yada 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 yada. But these single women that's raising boys is not telling them to go do that, not to go spend your money on all these girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they out here acting like that.
Facts.
It's a double standard. Like what is really what? You know what I'm saying?
I think these guys are confused, man. The kids are confused. These women, some of them lean on their kids,
Mhm.
like, to go out. Like you mentioned, you was born in Baltimore.
Mhm.
I lived in Baltimore.
I don't know anything about it, to
I
be
lived
honest
in
with you.
Baltimore for 4 years. I was in the Army,
Okay.
and it was some things I seen in West Baltimore. Like, it's almost like a third world. It's not even real.
Like a third world
Yeah,
state in the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that, like, there was some kids, I'm 14,
hmm
15, they were running the household. Their parents are doped out.
Right.
They on heroin. They over
Mhm.
there leaning on the corner. Like, these kids are getting their little brothers and sisters ready for school.
Right. Right.
I mean, young men. Some of the biggest cars I ever seen in my life. I seen like a 15 or 16-year-old pull up
There's,
in a brand new Toyota Celica Supra
mhm.
with the big spoiler
Yeah.
on the back.
Yeah.
Pull up like, yo. I'm like, yo, what is going on here, man? Actually, one of the kids, he actually got picked up by the federal police,
Nah.
the federal agents, because he went and paid for his car in cash.
Right.
He paid for his car in cash at the dealership, and they ended up reporting it, and they
Mhm.
came in and picked him up.
Right.
Him not knowing, like, yo, there's taxes and all kinds of things, that where'd you get this money from? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, men not being men in their household. I
Mhm.
mean, being on drugs or whatever the case may be,
Right.
that cause some of these things. Real quick though, let's touch on Trump.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know your views as political views. I
Hmm.
don't know. If you are a Trumpster, Republican, Democrat. I don't know any of that. But what do you think about what's going on with the way they're snatching the immigrants up and the way that people are fighting back? Because these people don't have really any means of fighting back. I always equate it to like 9/11 when they had to use planes to fly into buildings because they don't have ways to fight wars
Right.
against America. Some
Mm.
of these countries they got to find unconventional ways
Ooh.
to get their point across.
Right.
So these people are throwing rocks at the police. They're bringing in the National Guard, almost like martial law is going on right now. What you think about what's going on in LA with the riots and everything? And do you think it could happen somewhere else in America besides LA?
I think it definitely happened other places. Um, and I think it can happen differently than how it's happening in LA. I don't know. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know exactly what's happening. I did glance that there was things going on riots in LA. I didn't really look into it, but
I threw this at you, though. I'm not gonna lie, cause
mhm,
it was just on my mind heavy today, and I
right.
said I'm gonna ask him if he knew what was going on with
No,
this stuff.
I've seen it and I've heard people mention it, but it was at work I heard it, and I'm so busy sometimes I don't really get involved, and sometimes I get my news updates and I just haven't had a chance to look at it, but I did glance and I did see it. I did see it, but I honestly feel like these riots can happen anywhere in the U.S., especially any state along the perimeter of the U.S. I feel like these perimeter states of the U.S. is the craziest.
Well, a lot of people feel like the land is theirs. Like you stole this land anyway.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Texas is ours. California is
And Texas is
ours.
one of those places I feel like they were riot, but riot differently.
Right.
You know, and this is where martial law will really need to be implemented. I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it in the U.S. Just being here for all my life, it's it's not going to be just California.
So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it honest. I don't have a problem with the criminals and the bad people and the people who came here illegally being um deported or pulled out of the country. What I do have a problem with is the way they're going about doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no questions being asked. There's no vetting. There's no process to see um, if these are actually even the people that you're looking for. Some of these people are falsely identified. You know what I mean? They're
Hmm.
just taking them out of here. Some of them, thank God you caught them, get them up out of here.
Right.
Like, but some of them are like just regular working people that we need
For
here.
sure.
Our friends, our brothers. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and
mean,
I believe that they're creating homegrown terrorists
right.
because
Amongst ourselves within our state.
absolutely. Because imagine if somebody comes and snatches your mom and your dad up, just
Right.
snatches them
Hmm.
right from under you, and because all they do, your dad is not out here breaking their houses. They're not raping people.
Right.
They're not killing people.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not gang members, but they came here to kind of overstay their visa or, they came on a work permit and they're just like, yo, there's nothing back home for me. Let me
Right.
stay here and try to make as much as I can. And they just come, snatch them up, boom, you're
Yeah.
gone.
There's things they can do, man. There's things they can do in that process, and really vet out who needs to go and who needs not to go.
Right.
Because to me, wrong is wrong and right is right. Nothing more, nothing less. You
Facts.
know, if you come illegally,
You got to go.
you gotta go. I hate
But
to see it, but I get it.
some of the people that are taking these people out of here are the same people using these people that are here illegally.
I,
They use them for their lawns. They use them for,
yeah,
you know, um,
but I get what they're doing. But once you get those people out, now the people who belong here can actually run their business, can actually do that lawn service. And I'm only talking about illegals. Now, if you've been here, you grew here all your life, and you just didn't have it. I had a cousin like that, and he had to grow not knowing about it. I mean, I don't know about green cards and visas like my older brothers do because they gone through it.
mm-hmm.
I've watched them go through it, so I have an understanding of it, but they know the nitty gritty of it.
Right.
Now, think about somebody who has to go through that, but they've been in the States since they were one.
Right.
They're just like me. They're just looking at the next person who came to the States at 15 years old and trying to fix their visa and get everything going. These guys grew up here since they were one. They don't know that they got to get it. They hear it, and if their parents are not doing it for them, they got to learn on their own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a buddy that he got into a little bit of legal trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even know his paperwork wasn't right because he came in when he was young, and they shipped him out. He got into an issue with BSO or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent him back to Jamaica. Him going to Jamaica, not knowing one person,
Not one
not
person.
one family member.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's like we don't care who you know or what you know. Just buy. They put you on a plane. You're out of here.
Right.
Go figure it out.
It's crazy.
How do you process that in your mind, man? How do you like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I experienced that with somebody. We were doing I don't know if you ever heard of World Ventures. You ever heard of World Ventures?
Yes.
A little pyramid scheme or whatever.
Yes.
I was doing it with a couple of my friends and whatever. And we went to a convention. And the convention was somewhere down like downtown Fort Lauderdale. And when you cross over the port, it's like going over into immigration or whatever. Like you have to have ID and everything,
Paperwork.
right?
Yeah.
And we had one guy with us. We're in our 20s now, like early 20s, 21, 22, 23.
Not even thinking about anything
Right.
like that.
This guy's from Bahamas. He comes asking for his stuff. They look at it. They pull him out the car, right? Asking him all these questions. How did you get here? When did you get here? He was 12, 11 years old. What plane on what date? How is this 11, 12-year-old is going to know?
That.
Right. How is he going to know this? So they took him from our car, from that port, and brought him to Fort Lauderdale Airport. And that's where we had to pick him up during the intermission of our convention. We had to leave because he called us and said he was good after he was able to contact his parents and answer some of these questions. But my point is, this guy does not know these things. He came here as a child because he had to with his parents.
Right.
So him, I mean, at this age, yeah, he can learn and figure out what to do, but that's just not what a kid's mind who's just been here all his life is thinking about.
Ignorance on his parents' fault, and not having your kids in order.
And I feel like that's a lot of it. That's a lot of it for the kids that's dealing with it, that's coming from out of the country. Their parents is just not doing it because they've been struggling even for themselves.
Right.
They're struggling to get their paperwork for themselves to even do their kids.
It's just a horrible situation what's going on right now, in the country and actually the world, because some of these people are being deported back to countries that they're not even from.
Right.
They're like, we don't care where you go.
They can't even speak Spanish.
Just get out of here.
You're from Colombia, but you've been here your whole life, and now you get deported, and you can't even speak Spanish.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man, what's going on, man. I don't know. I'm glad that, I said in a little post I did earlier, I'm glad that we don't have to deal with these kind of things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're close, like you say, one generation removed from it, but we actually got in. I even had this conversation with my parents, like, how did y'all come in the country? You know what I mean? Are y'all here legally?
Right.
Like to this point, even though they're well into their ripe old age as senior citizens, but I'm like, is there anything I need to worry about y'all? You know what I mean? Because they're snatching people up.
Left and right.
Yeah, and you don't even know what's going on. So they're like, no, we're good, man. Trust me. Like,
all them PPP people feel safe now.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
shit.
They're worried about all the immigrants and,
Them people, they're going to come back. Everything is in cycles, though.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Everything's in cycles.
For sure.
So when they get to circle back around to the bullshit and the fuckery,
right.
all the fraud and everything,
oh my
right
days.
back to you.
My industry, bro. All I see is fraud.
I don't understand. Some of these people are so dumb, though, especially the banking industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you come in here and they have this paperwork. None of the paperwork's lining up. Like, you don't even have ID with this. And you still trying to pass these checks. And some of these people just do it. They just come in there like, oh, send me. I got this from my job and I'm trying to cash it. I'm like, bro, we about to call them boys on you, bro.
Bro, this man, 18, 19 years old, got a check from, I'm going to say it's not lawn service.
Okay.
It's not lawn service, but he got a check, 40, 50K. And they're like, we asked him where he get this check from and why. Oh, I do lawn service, but why is this saying for law? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so just throwing that example.
Right.
So they're just not thinking about it. They're not just doing it. They're just pushing it. And then when my manager's talking to him, she's like, bro, I'm in the wrong industry, bro. You getting paid this much? I'm going to leave this job.
Exactly.
That's what she's saying straight up.
Yeah, because this don't make any sense to me. I don't need to go work where you're going.
Yeah, let me go do what you're doing. I'll mow some grass.
And that's the thing. Like, this shit is so unbelievable that it can't even pass.
Exactly.
Like, why are you trying for so much? Like maybe if it's a smaller amount, you guys wouldn't be so alerted to it. But these guys come in here with some just astronomical numbers, and I guess they get away with it with some branches. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they just try it
They keep
everywhere and
pushing it.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Yeah.
at some point, boy, they're gonna slap you, boy. They're
They gonna
coming for you. They're gonna come put you in the
every
back of that car
every
and
time.
take you to Andrews Avenue. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Especially if you're in South Florida, you know, we're the capital of it.
Yeah,
like,
man.
hey,
Yeah, you know, South Florida is
alerted.
fraud central. And you know, I'm always worried, man. I'm always scared that somebody's doing some dumb shit. You know, you get all these phishing emails and
Yeah.
and
I get a text a day. I get one fraud text a day.
daily.
Yeah.
Oh, your account has been. You need to call us if this. I'm like, come
You
on,
know,
bro.
I'm not gonna lie. There's only one scheme I thought was amazing, and it's recent right now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever got a text saying that you need to pay your toll?
Yes.
Bro,
Yes. I got one.
I don't
got
care
one.
who you are. Everybody owes toll.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody owes toll. So
it
when
looks
I seen
it looks so legit too.
Yes.
It look official.
when soon as I seen that text, I didn't fall for it only because I had the SunPass app.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as they said it,
You went to the app.
I went straight to the
to
app
go make sure.
and I paid it. No, I
Yeah.
paid it straight up.
Yeah, on the app.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not gonna hit my credit. This is not
Right.
gonna hit my no taking out my license. None of
Right.
that. I paid it. Versus, you know, people who hit that
I
link.
mean, but technically, it still got you though. It got you to go check on your.
They got me
your
to,
original-
yeah, but I'm not gonna press the link.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
not gonna press the link.
All
in the
y'all
text.
people out there, when y'all getting all these texts and all these emails, man, don't press on these emails, man. Just delete the text
Delete the
and
text.
go directly to the platform that they're
Yeah.
asking you about. Whether you're
not
on
click the
cryptocurrency,
link.
you on you know, anything. Just make sure you're not falling for fraud shit. All
And-
you elderly, make sure it's a scheme, man. They're gonna try everything out of your account. They're gonna get you. Don't do it.
And there's no way they say, "Oh, I accidentally sent you this much money. Can you please send it back?" No. If they say you got to send them money for you to make this much money, it's not it.
Nah, that
It
ain't
doesn't make sense. Doesn't
Make it
make
make
sense.
sense.
Right.
All right,
They're taking
so
advantage. They're taking advantage of the economy right now, and people in desperation.
I like to ask one thing, just like a random question in the segment, and just get it out the way.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Why do they pull out of their driveway, right, and
Uh-huh.
then do their GPS?
Yeah, waste my thing.
Like, why don't you just do your GPS before you pull out of your driveway?
Right.
Like,
Turn on your car, get the AC going,
yeah.
do the GPS, then lift up.
Then leave.
Right?
But no, they want to cut and sit right in the road, the middle of the road, and then, oh, I didn't do my GPS. Do it in your driveway.
It's like that everywhere. When I worked at McDonald's, people would sit there, order their food, sit in the line forever, complain about how long the line is, and then when it's time to pay, they're digging through their purse.
What was your first job?
First job getting taxes, or just my first job working, I got paid, and I did whatever I want with my money?
First job, got whatever you want with your money.
Okay, I was, it was an auto shop, a body shop, auto body shop. And it was a guy from my church. He hired me and my friend, and we pretty much, any car he had to paint, we had to sand every one of the cars.
That was your first job?
That was my first job. We were sanding down all the cars that he was about to spray paint and paint.
They trusted? How
Yes.
old were you?
We had to be like 12 or 11.
They trusted you to do that?
It was three of us. It was three of us on one car at a time. So
Man, what was your first legit job at a company, bro?
where
Like a
I was paying
corporation?
taxes?
Yes.
McDonald's.
Okay.
McDonald's was my first job.
It was in Broward?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was on, my first one was commercial and power line.
It's still a McDonald's there?
It's still a McDonald's there. It was
Commercial
right
and
next
power line?
commercial and power line. Right, it's diagonal. It's right next to, I don't remember what gas station it was. It could be a Chevron gas station. Diagonal from the Miami subs, right by the Inter Miami Stadium.
Oh, on the same side as the Inter Miami?
No, the opposite side. Yeah,
Okay,
on the
okay,
other
okay.
side.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
before
It's
you
like
get
a
to the
Arby's or something
95.
over there, too.
No, Arby's is on the road where I work, Cypress Creek.
Hold on, McDonald's?
There's a McDonald's on that road too as well. The one that you're talking about, there is a McDonald's, but there's
Okay.
another one on
Okay.
commercial.
All right, cool.
So there is another one there, and I also worked on the one at Oakland and 31st.
Oakland, that must have been a crazy McDonald's.
that shit.
right there.
Soul Bowl time?
Yeah.
That shit was ratchet.
Soul Bowl. Speak
Soul
about
Bowl
Soul.
time.
Let's get back to some Broward shit real quick since we in here, man. Broward, Soul Bowl.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know what Soul Bowl is. Soul Bowl is two high schools,
Two black high schools.
two black. Well, I think a lot of high schools in Broward are black, but two black high schools in
Okay.
Broward,
Mm-hmm.
and they were pretty good at the time. I think so. Is Sobo still going on? It's probably still going
I
on.
believe so. Dillard and Blanche Ely High.
Dillon and Ely was Sobo,
Mm-hmm.
and
They used to play at the Lockhart Stadium, which is now the Inter Miami Stadium.
right. So no
Mm-hmm.
more games going on there. But
Correct.
but
So that's a good question. They might be doing that at their home schools if they're still doing the Soul
if they're
Bowl.
still doing Soul Bowl, but Soul Bowl was like an event.
Right.
Like everybody came out for Soul Bowl. They
Yeah.
even had T-shirts.
For sure. If you're from the crib, let us know if they still doing it in the comments.
I want to know if Soul Bowl's still going on.
Right.
Because we're not really tapped into high school like football. At least I'm a little bit tapped in because my son is, but I'm not really tapped in. He don't play. He's in Catholic school, so he don't play like some of the schools,
public schools that's out here.
Um,
Yeah, Soul Bowl, man, was iconic. It was anticipated. People who'd even go to the schools was going to the games.
Soul Bowl,
yeah,
facts,
yeah,
facts.
You know,
they would sell all kind of stuff at Soul Bowl. They used to gamble in the stands. It was a lot going on at Soul Bowl.
It was like in the stands. It was kind of like what you seen on Drumline back in the day.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
People out there dancing to the band. People out there just shooting their dice, eating food, talking shit. Back then everybody used to have the subwoofers, 215s, 212s on the trunk, everything.
Fosquet, what is it? Rockwood Fosgate, or I don't know, man. Shit got to be hitting though.
Yeah, the CVR kickers. What I had in my car, some kickers.
Mm-hmm. They used to have what about Goombay Festival? Mango Festival.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff in Broward, man. Broward is a little bit different now. They don't really do as many of the stuff that they used to. We gotta get outside though, man. Tap back into the city. Especially we gonna be doing this and talking about Broward. I love Broward, man. I love the ratchet parts of Broward, and I love the high end parts of Broward.
Mm-hmm.
I love Broward.
It's a vibe everywhere you go, man. I'm trying to tell you. And again, a lot of people in Broward don't know Broward all the way.
Nah, man, they're not tapped in. Like you gotta go tap in with the people, tap in with the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the county, and just live. Like there's certain parts of the county where I just kind of stay away from, like just because of culture issues, and people see life a little bit differently. When I show my face in the club, it's like, damn, where you been? Like, oh shit, you alive?
Right.
Like, it's definitely different. You get a different kind of energy when I show my face at the club.
Yeah.
I'm not outside like that, but we outside like, we tapping with Big Bro Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We tapping with Palm Beach.
Right.
I took him out the Bayside the other day, showed him a good time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
But Broward is our natural residence. They always get little boyed by the other counties though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Broward feel like we like the little bro, like
to Miami.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Just a shout out, Broward County. We beat West Miami in that Broward versus Day game. Hey. So shout out to the 954.
I'm telling you, man.
Gotta show the respect every time.
It is, man. Y'all know what it is.
Broward all day.
All day, every day, man. 954.